Avast, ye seekers of wisdom and wanderers of the wide roaring seas. Ye have dropped anchor at the right port, for this be treasures in the Torah, where ancient truth be hauled from the depths like pearls and plundered gold, and where every voyage draws us closer to the heart of Hashem himself. Here we read the Torah not as dusty parchment or ancient notes that mean nothing to most people. Here we read it as the living breath of the Almighty, guiding us like the North Star through storm and calm alike. For the Torah be a treasure chest, and each Parashat, each portion, is a gem rescued from the waves, polished by hand and heart, until her brilliance blinds the darkness. So hoist the sails, ye holy buccaneers, and take hold of the wheel and brace for the winds of revelation. For tonight we dive into her waters and haul aboard wisdom richer than silver and gold. This be episode 9, Parashat Vayishlach, when Israel was born and cannons thundered. Avast, you sons and daughters of Israel, gather close to the glow. Tonight we sail into one of the darkest nights in our father Yaakov's life. A night of trembling, a night of wrestling, a night where a man enters the storm one way and crawls out bearing a new name. This be Parashat Vayishlach, where Jacob prepares to meet Esau, the brother he fled for 20 long years before, the brother who swore to kill him. Sometimes, mates, the fiercest battles be not against cannon or cutlass. They be but the ghosts that rise from the deep within our own hearts. Vayishlach Yaakov ma'akim lifnav, and Jacob sent messengers before him, and they return with terror in their eyes. I see him. Easy riding the storm. He's riding the storm, and behind him, 400 swords glinting like lightning over black seas. Tell me, mates, when the hoofbeats of your past come thundering toward you, what do you see? Vayera Yaakov meod vayetzer lo, and Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. Genesis 32:8. Rashi teaches that the Talmud, Berakot 4a, echoes, he feared lest he be killed, and he was distressed lest he killed another. Mark this well, you sailors of Zion, for even when preparing for war, Jacob trembled at the thought of bloodshed. See, we are not a people eager for the blade. Every victory carves its price into the soul. But in spite of this, when Jacob needed strength, he prays. He lifts his voice in humility. Katonti mikol ha-hasidam, I mikol ha-emet, asher asita et arviteka. I am unworthy of all the kindness and all the truth you have done to your servant. Genesis 32:11. He does not boast. He whispers, Katonti, I am small. That, mates, be a heart Hashem can steer. See, Jacob, rather than sending a sword, rather than sending an army, he sends gifts. Waves of tribute crossing ahead like scouts before a flagship. Va'iyaha mincha ovret ha paniv, and the gift passed before him. Genesis 32:22. The Zohar 171b teaches humility builds the bridge that pride would burn. Vayeter Yaakov levado, and Jacob was left alone. Genesis 32:25. Nothing cuts deeper than solitude. Nothing is more lonely than being left alone. Vayirach ish imo ad alat ha hashakar, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of dawn. The Talmud Shulia 91 reveals that it was Sar Shel Esav, the spiritual force behind all of his fear. The Zohar teaches that in his night struggle, the future exiles of Israel were compromised. There be moments when you must stop staring at the horizon and start wrestling with the storm inside your own soul. And he struck the hollow of his thigh. Genesis 32:26. But Jacob cries, Lo ashalecha ki im barakani, I will not let you go unless you bless me. Every real victory leaves a limp. Lo Yaakov Ya'amer ad Shimcha, Ki im Israel, no longer shall your name be Jacob, but Israel. Genesis 32:29. He emerged from the struggle. The sea has not changed, but the man who faces it has. The struggle was real. He walked out of there with an injury. And walked the rest of his life with the aid of a walking stick. Think ye Jacob fought for such storms? Nay, our people wrestled upon the waves as well. Think ye Jacob alone fought such storms? Nay, our fathers wrestled not only in tents in synagogues, but upon the thundering waves of the sea. After the expulsion from Spain in 1492, when the crown of Castile cast out the children of Israel, torn from their homes, their books, their synagogues, and their ancestral soil, many fled with only what they could carry, pouring like broken vessels into the ports of the Ottoman Empire. There, amid salt and spray, among shipwrights and sailors, a remnant rose anew. And upon those waters we meet Simeon Reyes, also called Simeon the Great, the Jewish pirate admiral, trusted commander of Caher ad-Din Barbosa, and the fierce defender of Sephardic refugees. This son of Israel, born in the ashes of exile, took up the sword and the helm and thundered across the Mediterranean like a storm sent from heaven. His sails cracked like thunder, his cannons roared like 100 shofar blasts, and tyrants trembled at the very whisper of his name. What did he fight for? Not gold, not plunder, but revenge for the persecuted and freedom for his people. When Spanish and Portuguese ships carried the Jewish captives in chains, Simeon hunted them like a lion of Judah at sea, shattering their hulls, cutting their sails, and freeing the children of Israel from the prison of empire. He commanded fleets in the battle of Parashat, and turning the tide against the mighty Holy League, and securing Ottoman rule over the Mediterranean. A victory that safeguarded Jewish lives across the empire and struck fear into the heart of those that sought our destruction. He was not merely a pirate, but an admiral, a master of tides and of war, a shield to his people. His compass was the covenant, his course, the cause of justice. And what of us? What of us, mates? What does this have to do with us? We too are called to be Israel, not merely a people with ancient stories, but warriors of spirit, defenders of the oppressed, anchors of truth against the raging sea of hatred and deceit. For the legacy of Simeon teaches, so take heart, O crew of Zion, for you stand in a lineage of warriors and prophets, of sages and sailors, of exiles who became admirals, of victims who became victors. The storm is not our enemy. It is our proving ground. But mates, before we close this night's voyage, hear this. Next week, we sail into Parashat Vayishlach, where betrayal cuts deep as steel. We follow Yosef Hazik, cast into the pit by his own brothers, sold in chains, dragged through dust and despair, yet destined to rise from prisoner to prince by the hand of heaven. And next week's Sephardic hero of the week, Don Yitzhak Avronel, treasurer of kingdoms, betrayed by the very crowns he served, cast into exile with his people, yet rising anew in foreign lands as a giant of Torah and a lighthouse for all Israel. A tale of courage and destiny that mirrors Yosef's own ascent from the depths. Coming next week, Parashat Vayishlach, Betrayal in the Pit and the Dreamer Who Would Not Drown, featuring Isaac Advernel and the treasurer cast into exile. Don't ye dare miss it. If perchance this voyage has stirred your spirit, hoist your support by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment below. Every word you drop in the harbor helps this cruise sail further and further and bring more treasures from the Torah to the seven seas. May this flame guide your course through the blackest seas. May no wave swallow your hope. May Hashem set his hand upon your wheel and steer ye safely to the shores he hath promised. May the wind in your sails be filled with Hashem's righteousness. And may the evil urge plunge straight into Davy Jones' locker.